So in a shocking and historic turn of events, Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali's exit has now been official and they've been withdrawn from the ECOWAS community, marking a dramatic shift in West Africa's political and security landscape. President Ibrahim Traore's decision to leave Burkina Faso out of the bloc has unexpectedly raised serious concerns about the region's ability to manage security threats, economic stability and diplomatic relations moving forward, which was not as obvious before they were officially withdrawn from the ECOWAS bloc. This unprecedented exit raises critical questions of how ECOWAS will handle the security challenges without these three key nations, and what are the economic consequences of their departure. How does the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States impact regional cooperation and foreign relations? In today's video, we'll analyze the deeper implications of this major geopolitical shift, explore the rise of AES, and discuss what this means for the future of West African unity and security. Before we dive in, as always, don't forget to hit the like button as it helps this video get to more people. Comment and subscribe for the latest updates on Africa's changing political landscape. Now, let's get started. The decision by Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger to exit ECOWAS is a watershed moment in African geopolitics. This move was not made lightly, rather, it is the culmination of years of growing tensions between these nations and the West African bloc. For months, relations between Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, and also ECOWAS had been deteriorating due to ECOWAS' failure to address security threats in the Sahel, where terrorist groups have been expanding their influence. Little did they know that when Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso are out of the picture, ECOWAS will now be faced directly with this threat. Also, harsh economic sanctions imposed on these countries after their respective military takeovers further exacerbated this condition. Accusations of foreign influence within ECOWAS, which many in the Sahel believes prioritizes Western interest over African sovereignty, was also a factor. As a response, the three nations came together to form the Alliance of Sahel States, which is known as AES, a new coalition focused on self-reliance, military cooperation, and regional economic development. The departure of these nations from ECOWAS is more than just a bureaucratic move. It is a clear rejection of the external control and a bold declaration of sovereignty. One of the biggest concerns following the departure of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger is the impact on regional security. The Sahel has become a hotbed of jihadist activities, with groups linked to ISIS and Al-Qaeda launching attacks across multiple countries. Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger were amongst the strongest contributors to counter-terrorism efforts in the region. Now that they are out of ECOWAS, the bloc is significantly weakened in its ability to combat these threats. Without the military cooperation of these nations, ECOWAS may struggle to coordinate cross-border counter-terrorism operations, prevent the spread of terrorism networks into coastal West Africa, and also maintain the regional stability in an already fragile geopolitical climate. With ECOWAS imposing sanctions and political isolation, the AES nations have turned to Russia for military assistance. Mali and Burkina Faso have deployed Wagner Group mercenaries to assist in counter-terrorism operations. Niger has also deepened defense agreements with Russia, moving away from the traditional Western partnerships. The AES alliance is exploring joint military exercises and shared intelligence network independent of ECOWAS. This geopolitical shift raises new questions. Will ECOWAS nations seek Western military support to counterbalance Russian influence? How would this affect France and the US, who have military bases in the region? This growing divide between ECOWAS and the AES could spark further instability. Beyond security, the exit of Burkina Faso, Niger and Mali is expected to have serious economic consequences, of which Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, was aware of before this move was made. As part of ECOWAS, these nations had access to regional trade agreements, economic support programs, and foreign investment incentives. Now that they've left, they could also face higher trade barriers with ECOWAS member states, reduced access to regional financing institutions, political instability in currency valuation as they move towards a new monetary system. The AES nations have already announced plans to introduce a new currency separate from the West African CFA franc, further signaling their intention to create an independent economic bloc. ECOWAS allowed visa-free travel and free trade amongst its members. With Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger leaving, new policies are being worked on to be established, including border control regulations between AES and ECOWAS nations, new tariffs and custom rules for imports and exports, the potential for trade restrictions as ECOWAS responds to the split, and also the security concerns the split has created for the ECOWAS bloc. Despite the breakaway, ECOWAS has recognized these threats and has not fully closed the door and has not fully closed the door on Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The bloc has stated that dialogue remains open for possible cooperation. ECOWAS has stated that it is willing to reconsider some sanctions to ease tensions. A peaceful resolution is still the preferred outcome. They stated that a peaceful resolution is still the preferred outcome. However, the question remains, will ECOWAS retaliate or renegotiate, as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are set strong not to return. Some possible scenarios include stronger economic sanctions against the AES to pressure them into returning. Also, there's a neutral stance approach, allowing the AES to function separately while maintaining diplomatic relations, and also an eventual reconciliation leading to a restructured ECOWAS with more flexible policies. The future of the West African regional unity is now uncertain, and the next few months will be critical in shaping its direction. Now that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have left ECOWAS, what's next for the AES? The AES leaders have made it clear that they intend to establish a fully integrated economic system independent of ECOWAS. They also plan to strengthen military cooperation to tackle security threats, form a new trade alliance with Russia, China, and the Middle Eastern partners. That is to tell you that their split is well thought out. The exit of these three nations, led by Captain Ibrahim Traore, have raised speculations about whether other West African nations, particularly those with military-led governments, might consider leaving the ECOWAS as well. If more nations follow suit, we could see a fundamental reorganization of regional alliances in Africa. President Ibrahim Traore's decision to leave Burkina Faso out of ECOWAS marks a defining moment in West African history. The creation of the AES alliance, the shift in military and economic strategies, and the growing tensions between ECOWAS and the breakaway states signals a new geopolitical era for the region. Will the AES alliance thrive and redefine African sovereignty? Or will the challenges of isolation and economic pressure force these nations to reconsider their position? But what we are facing now is that ECOWAS is facing a significant security crisis because of the split, which the regional bloc didn't consider before the split occurred. Will AES succeed, or will ECOWAS maintain its dominance in the region? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And remember, like this video as it helps to get to more people. Subscribe and stay tuned for more updates on Africa's evolving political landscape. Check out this next video on other amazing projects and alliances going on right here in Africa. Thank you, and on to the next video. Be sure to check this next video out.